Right.
If you want to come over here, it is a privilege. And here's the privilege to it. You come from these countries where you can't even speak up, and now you want to come over here and take advantage of our freedom of speech. Well, we don't have to give you that right. State Department says it will aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students. And this says under President Donald Trump's leadership, the U.S. State Department will work with the Department of Homeland Security to aggressively revoke visas for Chinese students, including those with connections to the Chinese Communist Party or studying in critical fields, Rubio wrote in a statement. The State Department will also revise visa criteria to enhance security for future visa applications from the People's Republic of China and Hong Kong. Let me just speak on that because the rest of the article just goes into facts about that. And
yeah, how do you feel about this?
I like it.
Yeah,
okay. I like it because here's my thing. Don't come to our country telling us how we gonna run things. Don't become because what's happening is now, and a girl from China had just gotten sent back to China for this. She came from China, and she got into some Palestinian. She was involved in the Free Palestine movement, and they were organizing all types of like angry protests where they do all types of dumb stuff.
Right.
And my thing is this: don't come over here trying to change our country when you can't even speak your freedom in yours.
Right.
In China, you can't even speak freely.
Right.
Go to your government and talk about what they did wrong, what they have done wrong, and see how that goes.
Yeah.
Don't come over here trying to tell us what to do.
Right.
If you want to come over here, it is a privilege. And here's the privilege to it. You come from these countries where you can't even speak up, and now you want to come over here and take advantage of our freedom of speech. Well, we don't have to give you that right. We don't have to because you're not even from here.
Mm-hmm.
That right belongs to the people from here. You want to come over here and the United States government should do this and should do that. We shouldn't do nothing. You need to go back and fix your own country first.
Right, yeah. Well, not only do we, for a long time, have we allowed students to come here and voice that and protest that, we elect them into our Congress.
Yeah.
Do you remember Ilhan Omar, the congresswoman from Minnesota?
The one who has sex with her brother?
Oh gosh,
I
didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she did.
So that's
she did that.
Oh man, I hope her brother was at least a hunk. No, but what I was gonna say is she comes over here and criticizes America as a nation, like all the things that we've done wrong and like our mistakes, which there are. Like there's plenty of examples of things that America has done wrong. But it's like, aren't you from Somalia? Like,
yes.
Isn't your country?
Don't they steal boats over there?
Like, isn't your country one of like the 10 worst places in the world to be from? And instead of coming here and being grateful to be in America and like, wow, in this country, I can come over from the turd world, from like a flaming dumpster heap where there's literally pirates.
Yeah. I think their Pledge of Allegiance just say, I'm the captain now. Yeah. That's their Pledge of Allegiance.
But
we got another comment, guys. Michelle Kenner says, let's make common sense common again.
Yes. Yeah. Too bad we can't because liberals have taken all common sense and shoved it right up their buttholes.
But I mean, think about what happened to Ilhan Omar. She comes here from another country and she's elected to public office. Like, don't you think for a moment you'd be like, wow, what an amazing place this is. I'm not even from here. And now I'm a lawmaker. Now I sit on the United States Congress.
And guess what? Where she's from, Minnesota, right? They were trying to enact not martial law, but Sharia law there. They were trying to figure out a way to enact Sharia because these idiots, the Muslims come over and took over the government. And we live in a democracy where if stupid people are the ones voting in a democracy, you get stupid policies. But let me read this real quick. This is what Rubio said. He said, how can we keep offering 300,000 student visas to Chinese nationals every year when we know they are legally required to gather intelligence for the CCP? The answer is simple. We can't. Moody wrote in a post on X, Stanford Reviews, blah, 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 blah. So basically, what Rubio is saying is everybody who comes over here from China, they're required by their country to spy on us.
Right, yeah.
They're required. It's not even like it's an option. It's when you go over there, gain intelligence from America about how they run their country and bring it back to us. And for us to know, I never really thought about it like that, but that's how communist countries run. The CCP and what they do is they spy on their people. People forget America has freedom of speech. America has you have a right to privacy. Other countries don't have that. I have a friend who went to China and he went on a missions trip, and they freely let him know in his hotel room they were spying on him.
Also, I don't think you can go to China with the stated mission of spreading Christianity.
Nope, you
have
can't.
to
He had to.
couch it
He had
in
to
some
hide.
other thing. Like you have to say, we're here to for some athletic thing, or I'm going to
Yes.
school, or
He
I'm
went
working
as a
teacher.
teacher.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah. And like that just goes to show.
Yeah, so this is how he knew they were spying on him. He was in a hotel room and he said straight up, "Man, it's cold in here. I wish we had some more blankets." Within an hour, they brought him some more blankets. They brought him what he asked for, and he was talking to his wife
Really?
in his room, in the privacy of his room. They don't have privacy in China. They don't
Right.
have the rights we have. And you expect these people to come over and tell us how to run our country? No,
Right.
you don't
Yeah.
get that right.
Well, let me say this. First, I'm going to say something nice, then I'm going to say something mean about China. First of all, I feel bad for these people that they live under this communist regime.
True.
And I have heard that Christianity is growing. One of the fastest places growing in the world is in China, because it seems like when we get fat and comfortable, the spirit moves somewhere. Like the Holy Spirit seems to work in places where there's a lot of persecution,
True.
basically.
True.
And so, if that's the case, if the Christian church, for a long time, America was the city on the hill.
Mhm.
It was a Christian nation,
A beacon of light.
right? And it's not
Yes.
that way anymore. But it wasn't always that way either. Before it was America, it was Western Europe.
Yes.
The Westminster Confession, the Belgic Confession, all these confessions of faith came out
Mhm.
of Western Europe. Before that, it was Constantinople. Before that, it was Judea. Christianity is the one religion that doesn't have a holy city per
Yeah.
se. It doesn't have a
Mhm.
Mecca. The Christian church kind of is headquartered in different places based on what's going on politically and in history.
Uh-huh.
And if that place ends up being China because there's a lot of persecution there, and the Christian church thrives, and
I hope the Christian church does continue to thrive in communist China. And I think because it's communist, it just shows the power of God even more, you know. But I think that when we look at it as a country and we're looking at what the purpose of communism is and how it spreads, we need to be very wary of anybody coming to our country from over there, that they are not trying to indoctrinate people here, because
well, they
they're
for sure are.
yeah,
They for sure are.
and that's
100%.
what they're doing. They've
Right.
already infiltrated, all of our school systems, all of our colleges. In fact, all of our media is there's all types of socialism that leads to communism propaganda. They're already convincing people to give up their rights with the cough that just happened. This is all like communist propaganda stuff.
But
I've seen more communists online pushing communism than ever before in my life.
yeah, I attribute that to these kids going off to liberal arts colleges and
Yep.
getting. Yeah,
They
but
got
anyway,
their
so
little claws.
I said something nice about the Chinese, which is that my heart is for them, and
Yeah.
I hope that they become.
Say something mean.
Well, okay, you've got 1.3 billion people in your country. How much is it going to take before you overthrow your piece of shit government?
They
mean-
should have been did it.
I mean, the American Revolution happened over what, a 7%
Mhm.
tax from England? Like, our forefathers had some cojones.
Yes.
I blush and I'm ashamed at what we have been swallowing as Americans.
True.
But I know that there is a line that eventually will
Yeah.
be crossed, where there will be
Mhm.
taking up arms in
That's
this
because
country.
the Asian cultures, in many ways, they're very subtle and they're very big on we think as a collective rather than an individual. And that's harming them in the sense of their government can literally which they have, bring tanks to the streets and shoot them down for a protest, and they will go to work the next day. And that's sad.
But when like you have your children at home, and you know that they're going to be raised in this government where there is no privacy, there is no free speech, there is no freedom of religion. what do you have to lose? Like
Yeah.
the future for your children, the
Mhm.
future of your country. Isn't it better to die, like live
It is.
free or die, right?
Well, and this is the problem
Do we need
when
to
you
send them copies of Braveheart on DVD so
well,
they can
this is the
figure it out?
problem. They got copies of Karl Marx. And then what the problem is when in Karl Marx writing, and he's always wrote about this, is that when you take away God, the government becomes God.